Hello everyone! I've got a Kickstarter reward to unbox for you today, and this is C.H.I.P. This is a little $9 computer which was a very popular Kickstarter project last year. They raised I don't know how many times their goal, but let me go ahead and unbox this because I want to see what's in here and that way you could get a better idea of what this is. So, let's go ahead and... Oh, I don't think I should have done that. Let's see. I think that was one of those little tabs that you're supposed to pull back. Let's see. Or no, it wasn't. Okay. Whoa, cool. You know what, this actually solves one of the questions I had with it right now, but that's weird. Why is it pink? But I don't care. Color means nothing. Let's see. Wow, here's the actual chip itself. Attention, observe precautions for handling electrostatic sensitive devices. Okay. Duly noted. Give me my chip already. Let's see. It's bigger than I thought it was going to be. But as you can see, it's very small. Wow. You know, I didn't expect it to have this little plastic thing. I guess they added that onto it. And then that's the little internationally recognized symbol for chip, which is that little thing right there. But also, for some reason, this project has a weird fascination with bananas. They always hold this chip up next to a banana to show how small it is. I don't know what that's supposed to be about. Some sort of inside joke that I don't get. But let's see. So it has a USB input right there. It has this, which is a headphone jack, but also it outputs composite. So you see, that's where this comes in. And for a while, when I looked at the project, they only had composite going out to the video signal. And so part of me was like, oh my god, I hope that it's not, a mute signal. I hope that it does more than video. But thankfully, according to this, it will go ahead and output audio as well. Because there is some composite out there which does go ahead and put out video and audio, so thankfully they already include this in it, because for a while I was thinking like, oh geez, I'm going to have to get one of those splitters and then see if it even works. But thank God, you guys made a really good choice by doing this. And let's see, then there's micro USB, and then a whole bunch of computer mumbo jumbo and symbols and hieroglyphs. I have no clue what those are. And then there is for power in, but I think you can also power it by USB. So that's not a problem for me right there. And yeah, this is just a fascinating project. It really got a lot of notoriety for being a $9 computer. So when this came out, especially with like Raspberry Pi and everything out there for like about $35 or so, a $9 computer was like, wow, holy crap, that is absurdly cheap. We thought the Pi was cheap, but damn, this thing was real cheap. And it has like 1 gigahertz processing power, so I mean it's pretty fast. I don't know the full specs right now. Sorry, you know what? I'll go ahead and put a little shaded column right here with all the specs because I don't have them offhand. But I was attracted to this just because it was a $9 computer, so I was like, whatever. I'll just take a chance. Hopefully there will be cool stuff for it. In the pitch video, they did show emulators running on it, so I was like, you know what? That could be a really cool thing for emulators. However, there is a problem with this because, as you guys have known from my other analysis videos and everything, I coined this term called the early worm effect. And that is when you have an idea which is revolutionary, or you think it's revolutionary, and my little theorem that I came up with is that if a product truly is revolutionary, then bigger companies will make a better copy of it. And unfortunately, that's what happened with C.H.I.P. Because it was this $9 computer, and that's what it got all the buzz for. It was like, oh my god, it's a $9 computer. And then Raspberry Pi came in, and they made the Pi Zero for $5. So, yeah, somebody took their thunder and completely stole it. So, $9 computer, that's no longer as big a selling point as they thought it was, because now Pi has a $5 computer. So, yeah, the good thing though is I took a chance on this, and I went ahead and spent $9 plus shipping, whatever. It came out to like $14 or something. But still, for $14, I got a computer on a chip. So that's really cool. So I don't really think that I missed out that much. Yes, I fell into the trap of the early worm effect. I bought into a product which has since been made, or at least that price point has been made obsolete by the Pi Zero, a bigger company making a better product in the sense that it's cheaper. But who knows, maybe this will actually be a better product. I don't know. I haven't turned it on or anything. I don't know what I can do with it. But it could be a nice little piece of kit to fiddle around with. And like I said, I like that it actually puts out composite because I am a big proponent of CRT gaming. So I really like it that this is a little chip that I can use to hook up to a CRT monitor. They even have this video online where they found like this old one of those green scale like Apple monitors, like just laying in an alley. Somebody had thrown it away, and then they went ahead and picked it up, and so they actually connected to it, and it works. And then you could use something like that. And that's really nice. I like it that it does have composite out because a lot of these chip devices, they have HDMI out. And of course, that's for modern TVs and everything, so I guess they have their purpose. But like I said, I like CRT gaming, so this is going to come in real handy for me. And so maybe this is the right device for me. Maybe this would be better for me than a Pi Zero, but who knows? And but they do have like an HDMI out kit. You see, there's these little pieces that will stack onto it. I think there's a VGA out and also an HDMI out little kit that you could add onto it. And also there's this little kit that you can get where it's like this handheld, almost like PDA looking thing with a keyboard. And so you can like actually code, portably with a little screen and everything. And then you just like connect this like into the back of it or something. And I thought that was really cool. I almost went for that because I was like, oh, that would be such a great handheld to have. But then I just kind of thought about it, and I made the right choice saying that, you know what, that's just a little bit more investment than I'm willing to invest in a $9 computer. So I'm not going to go that far. And that was a good decision to make because, I mean, yeah, maybe a Pi Zero would be a better option in the future. Or maybe the portable computer thing will be a better option for me in the future. I mean, it's not like it's going away, I hope. I hope those things don't go out of production or anything. But either way, this is a really nice place to start, and hopefully there will be some cool emulators, cool things that you could do with it. And again, I'm looking forward to composite output. So let me fiddle around with this, let me see what it can do, and then I will come back and show you what is what. This thing is cool. When I first saw the boot screen scrolling on a CRT TV, I started laughing uncontrollably. I'm getting so many warm memories just watching this again. It reminds me of when I was a kid and my first computer was a hand-me-down Commodore 64. And you know what? The composite signal actually looks pretty good on an HD TV as well. I was surprised it was so clean. And I have to admit that on the CRT television the text can get a little bit muddy if it's too small, but you don't really get that problem with a modern flat screen. So as long as you're not a stickler and you don't mind taking a little bit of a hit on the visuals, then if you want to hook it up to a modern television with the composite cables, I would say that's very doable. The OS on this thing is also super easy to use. It really reminds me of Linux Mint, and that's a good thing. And it has a package manager for installing new programs, and that's very, very helpful. But I gotta say the most obvious disadvantage here is that the browser is very slow. It really does not feel like this thing has a 1 GHz processor. There are times when it's so slow that the browser is just impossible to use. And I was really disappointed to see that that includes YouTube. It was able to play some of my videos, but it seems like it always had to stop every 5 seconds to buffer. But if they can correct that browser, then I will recommend that all of you get one of these chips. Because then you guys can enjoy my content on a CRT television, which is how I intended all of my videos to be seen, of course. They include a few open source games on here, but you know I wanted to try emulation. And that part sucks because I was not able to get the emulator to work properly. First of all, it sucked because I was using a keyboard, so there was no real way to, get a controller in there. I didn't have any free USB ports and my Bluetooth controllers couldn't be recognized. At first I tried Hygan and it wouldn't work. It said that it needed some sort of a plugin, and after I told it to use an alternate, then it just crashed and it would never come back. So I was only able to try NES emulation. And it didn't really turn out that great. There were tons of problems all the way through. Again, this doesn't feel like a 1 GHz processor. There was also a problem with the emulation window because no matter what I tried, I could never get into the proper 4:3 resolution. And I figured out what the problem is. It's not just the emulation window that's off. It turns out the whole screen is downscaled from 16:9 to 4:3. I realized this because when I looked at the footage, everything looked fine. That's because my video capture automatically defaults to 16:9. So it converted the 4:3 image that I recorded from C.H.I.P. I think that's pretty stupid. Maybe there is a way to change the setting, but if there is, I couldn't find it. I guess it would be easy to correct on most HD TVs. You just tell the TV to stretch the image. But I see this as a flaw because I expect that if the default output is composite, then the default aspect ratio should be 4:3.
And if you attach one of those HDMI boards, then it can switch into 16:9. But just having the default output as a 16:9 image and 4:3, that's pretty dumb, and I hope there is a way to change it.
Alright, so I wasn't able to get the emulator to behave and the browser is really, really slow. So you might be thinking that I'm going to say, you know, forget about this device. If you're at my level, it's not really something that you should get. And maybe there is some truth to that, but I am actually going to say that this device has a lot of promise. I could tell the operating system, it's a lot easier to use than I thought it would be. And I think that with a little bit of tinkering with, you know, the apps and, you know, the settings and everything, I could have gotten it to work really well. So I'm actually excited. I really want to see what we could do with this thing. And some other stuff I should mention, there was this little glitch that I encountered where I tried to power it up and the LED lights would go on. It was the little LED lights are right here. They went on, and so the unit should have been on, but it was not sending out any video signal. And I was like, oh my god, I already busted it. It's broken. Maybe I fried it or something unknowingly. And this was just out of the blue after I hadn't used it for a few days. But then I looked online, and it turns out that that is actually a known bug that they've been having. And so they actually have instructions on how to do like a little, kind of like a boot recovery thing. And it's actually really, really simple. It takes less than a minute, actually. What you do is that you get like a little jumper. And with this, they recommend using a paperclip. But they also say on there that if you don't have a paperclip, which honestly I couldn't find around me at the time, I couldn't find one. They said just go ahead and use one of those like little zip tie things and one of those little wire ties, and then just strip it. So what you do is that then you have, I'm not going to illustrate because I might have the wrong one, but you just go ahead and bridge two of the little connections on this, and then you run this little recovery program on your computer, which works with Windows, which is just absolutely brilliant. Usually on these little Linux things, they always use Linux. Like even for, if you want to do anything on your computer with it, you have to use Linux. But with this, that's really good. They were able to use Windows right there for morons like me. And anyways, you bridge the connection right there, you run the program, which seriously takes 30 seconds, and then it's back to normal. Then it's just perfect. And it didn't delete any of my info or anything. It was not a, you know, factory refresh or anything. So I like that they are, you know, doing some, they're having a little bit of teething problems. I mean, not anything drastic. That was probably, you know, the biggest thing that is tripping up some people who have gotten theirs, so then they think that it's dead out of the box and it's not. And so, but those things are going to happen. I mean, it is a Kickstarter project. They're just getting off on two wheels for the first time. And they're actually doing really well. So they are providing a lot of updates. It seems like almost every week when I would plug this in, there would be new updates to download. So they are doing that. And one other thing that I should mention, it is password protected when you go in there. Like whenever you try to install anything, there's a password protection. And that was driving me crazy. I was like, what are you guys doing? Like, how do I get through this? You know, you guys didn't provide me any instructions. There's no password. There's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be open source. You know, it's supposed to be open. But it turns out that the password is the same for all of them. The default password is C.H.I.P, C.H.I.P. So just use that. That should save you some frustration, because I know for me, I was thinking that I was doing something wrong, that I had messed up a setting, and I was trying to find a setting to, you know, remove the password, and of course there was none. But yeah, so CHIP is the password that you're gonna need to use there. And yeah, that's pretty much. You know what? One more thing that I should tell you about. The little back part right here, the plastic, that is actually an extra that they include for the Kickstarter backers. I didn't know that. And so the little plastic part, that is the case. So so yeah, this is what they call the case. And so it is a $9 computer, but it would not include that typically. And the case, it retails for $2. So I mean, that's not really too much. So $11 computer, I guess you could say right here. But I only paid $9, of course. And so yeah, you could use this, or if not, you could buy it without it. And if you get it without it, this is something that I did. I made a little case for it. So I decided to use the little chip case as a case for this thing. So you see, I put it in there, and I would secure it with electrical tape on the bottom. And then you just close it up. Then, hooray, there's your little ports and everything. So yeah, I had the little wires coming out here. Then there's my little chip case that I would just have right there by my TV. So yeah, that works really well. And this thing, it just works so well with a TV. Just so much nostalgia, just bundled up in this thing. I miss when you could, have your computer hooked up to a CRT, either monitor, TV, whatever. And one of the cool things about this, though, the best thing about it, and as you guys know, I didn't really try it out too much. I didn't really dive into this thing like I should have, because this review, I was hoping to spend a little bit more time with it, but it was actually cut short. Because here's the thing, you know that you really got a good Kickstarter project, you know that you picked one really well when people are just banging at your door trying to buy it from you. And that's what happened to me. Because I was on a forum, and it wasn't even about the chip. I was just in this discussion, and then somebody mentioned the chip, and so I posted a response, just a short one, saying like, hey, that's pretty cool that you mentioned that, I actually have one. And then I got a message in my personal message inbox over there from another user saying like, dude, we're looking for a chip. We need one. We're with some little company, or I don't know, some team that's making something. And they really need a chip so they could prototype their new software, whatever they're going to be running. And so they offered to buy it from me. And we came to a deal that I would not take their money. Instead, I asked them, I was like, guys, I really regret that I didn't get the pocket chip, the little PDA looking thing, the handheld portable chip. I really regret that I didn't get that. So tell you what, if you guys go ahead and buy that for me, if you put in an order for me for that and send it to me, then I will go ahead and give you the chip. And so that's what we did. We came to that agreement that they would do that. And so that's amazing. I mean, I got, with that thing, it's like $50, and then plus $10 shipping. So that's like $60. I basically sold this for 6 times what I bought it for. So that is just amazing that it boggles my mind. But still, I think that this was a really cool impulse purchase, because that's really what it is. I mean, I don't know how to program or do anything with this thing, so it was really an impulse purchase. And like I said, I'm not using it to its full potential, so I hope that those guys will be able to show what this thing can do, and hopefully this one that I'm holding will go off to do really, really cool things. And otherwise, I like it. And even when I was talking to them, I was asking them, like, why are you so interested in the chip? I thought that the Pi Zero would be better. And they actually said that the chip, it has a few advantages that the Pi doesn't. For instance, you could go ahead and connect power up to these boards, and these, I think they're called headers, aren't they? I don't know. But anyways, these things, you could go ahead and connect things to it. So it's a really nice device for someone who's tinkering with it. And instead of the Pi, where it's kind of like desktop emulation type thing. So it's really good for that, and also it has its own memory. So whereas the Pi Zero, it doesn't even come with an SD card, you have to add your own memory to it. But with this one, it actually comes with 4 gigs on it. And otherwise, they just said that it's a little bit better for somebody who would be tinkering with this, rather than the Pi, where it has, you could do a lot with it, but it has a few set parameters that it's best for. The Pi Zero, I mean. And yeah, that's another thing that I should let you know. When I was using this, I felt that I felt a little limited, because I couldn't connect like an SD card or anything to it, because I had the composite outgoing, and then also the power was going in here through the micro USB, and then the full USB, I had a little plug in there for what is it called? It's like this Microsoft keyboard, and then touch mouse thing, touchpad on the side. So I was using all the ports right here, and so therefore I couldn't get a jump drive or anything like that in there. And that was pretty much an error on my part, because when I think about it, I could have, found a way to put a flash drive on there, because I could have used the power coming out through here. And not only that, but this also supports Bluetooth. So if I had used a keyboard which had a Bluetooth connection instead, then I wouldn't have to use this. So you see, if I had power coming in through here and then Bluetooth, then I could have had 2 USBs right there available to me. So this one actually does have some capabilities that the Pi Zero does not have. The Pi Zero, I do not think that supports Bluetooth. I'm almost positive that it doesn't. So this one, it has a few more capabilities. I hear the guys at C.H.I.P, they got a really good deal on the R8 processor, whatever the hell that thing is. And so that's why they were able to get this so cheaply. So that's why the guy was telling me, he's like, no, the chip actually has a lot of capabilities that we haven't seen yet, for that price. But yeah, so the part that I like most is that I was able to trade up. So that pocket chip that I wanted at the beginning, which I just didn't want to pay for back then, now I could just do a straight trade for this into that. And yeah, I have to get rid of it right now, and I won't see that pocket chip until, I don't know, like May or June, or I don't know when, and they're probably back ordered anyways. But that is probably the best part, because I'm like, wow, I picked the best Kickstarter campaign. I could actually trade it, sell it, whatever, for more than what I paid for it. And that is one thing that we got to talk about, because there's like a chip shortage, and that's why you're able to sell it for more than what you got it for. And I didn't gouge them. The pocket chip, I think that goes for, I think like $49 and then plus shipping, and that pretty much is what these things are going for on eBay. So I didn't gouge them or anything like that. But that is something we need to talk about, because at least in this year, at least at the time that I'm making this video, the whole $9 computer, $5 Raspberry Pi Zero, that is a myth. That actually does not exist right now, and that's pretty sad, because it seems that like resellers have really taken over the market. And yeah, I guess I'm a filthy reseller now, but especially with the Pi Zero, I was really surprised, because I was like, Pi, whoever it is that makes that, I mean, they make tons of these things. I mean, they should be able to, meet supply and demand, everything. And but no, that's not the case. It is impossible pretty much to get a $5 Pi Zero. On eBay, I think they were going for like 35 or so at the lowest, at least at the time of making this video. So I don't know. It seems that resellers have taken over the market, and that's kind of sad for people who want to use this. And we're looking forward to the future of $5 and $9 computers. So at least for the time being, at least at the time that I'm making this video, that is a myth that you could get a computer that cheaply, at least tonight. But if you pre-order, then you might be able to get it later. And in fact, with the Pi Zero, I don't think they are taking pre-orders, at least not that I could ever find. But with the chip, they are. And then they say that those are going to start shipping out in June, but I'm sure there's a queue, so it might actually take a little while. But I'm really glad that I got this, and it seems that it's very capable. And when I was looking up an article, I was looking at the price comparison, because I was really surprised at how capable it is, because they were doing like a comparison, the chip versus the Pi Zero. And I'll go ahead and put a link to the article, because it was really interesting the way that they calculated this. They actually said that it's more expensive to get the Pi Zero, because you have to add so much stuff onto it. And honestly, I'm having a hard time trusting their math, because they were saying that in order to run the chip, all you need is $10. You just need the $9 chip and then a USB cable for power. But that's not exactly true, because for the composite cables, those ones came with mine. But from what I see on their site to order, I think the composite cables are actually an extra. So you would actually have to get those ones as well. But it was really interesting how they were saying that the Pi Zero is actually more expensive to run, because it does not have onboard memory. So you would have to get a micro SD card, and if you go by just the regular, $1 per gigabyte type of math, then even a 4 gig micro SD card, that's going to cost you $4. So you need that, and then plus you need like a USB OTG cable, and it has to be powered USB, because that is how the Pi Zero is going to get its power. They just racked up a whole bunch of stuff, and they said that it actually costs like between like $25 and $30 to run the Pi Zero. So it actually is a lot more expensive according to them. Again, I don't know if I should trust that math, but it seems like this is actually a better deal, because it just has more on it. It's a more complete unit. And so I think that this is more competing with the Raspberry Pi, whereas the Pi Zero is more just competing with this thing's price, but not really with its capability. So that's something you should really keep in mind, and I hope that will help this thing take off, because I would really like to see some cool stuff come out on this thing, or at least people, to do really cool stuff with it, kind of like the Retro Pi and everything that people are doing with Raspberry Pis. So hopefully we'll see that sort of thing. And yeah, that's really all I gotta say about this, and I'm really happy with it. I'm happy with this purchase. I'm sad to see it go. I'm gonna be sorry, and I'm gonna be missing this thing, but I know that it's gonna be doing something really cool in its new owner's hands. And otherwise, I mean, I'm gonna be keeping tabs on this, and hopefully the next time you guys see it, it's gonna be in a pocket chip. So I will see you guys next time. This thing though, it has to go bye-bye. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.